Working on my third take on this video. The second take, I was a little, well, I'm washed up tonight. I'm just tired. I'll try to smooth it out this time for you. How about that? Mr. DJ, count down my fantasy playlist of March 18th, 1983. Well, how you doing? Boy, we're closing in on number one. At number four, down from number three, Christopher Cross. All right. Remember that song, All Right, by Christopher Cross? An up-tempo adult contemporary record. That was his sweet spot. Adult contemporary slash pop. Sometimes his records are upbeat, but very radio friendly. Guaranteed not to offend anyone. Not anyone over 35 who'd probably be offended by a Quiet Ride or a Def Leppard record, but Christopher Cross would just hit the spot. Hit the sweet spot. But you know, when I think of Christopher Cross, I go back to early 1980 when he came out with Ride Like the Wind. He had his first album with he detonated like a nuclear bomb right out of nowhere. It's like the Big Bang. 1 minute there's nothing, and all of a sudden there's everything. There's your universe. Universe of Christopher Cross. 4 singles, 4 top 40 singles off that first album. This guy was playing a cover band. He was playing a cover band called Flash back in the early 70s, maybe late 60s, not to be confused with the group that did Small Beginnings in the summer of 1972. This was a cover band. They covered, I read that him and his band, this was really cool. One of the songs they covered was 1985 by Paul McCartney from Band on the Run. A brilliant record by Paul McCartney, and they covered it, which sort of inspired Ride Like the Wind because there was that part in the song that went ba da 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 da, which Christopher Cross incorporated in Ride Like the Wind. Gosh, I don't even know where to start. Well, here's the deal about Christopher Cross. He signs a solo deal with Warner Brothers, 1978. He teams up with a producer named Michael A Martian. Michael A Martian was an up-and-coming producer. He was a singer and songwriter, too. He released some solo albums in the 70s, but really got into production later on. His first production success that I know of was when he recorded Roger Fedor's You Better Get Used to It. Remember that song? Kind of a bubblegummy song, a song that a lot of the hard rock fans love to hate, but it was a pretty big hit for Roger Fedor's back in the spring of 1979, produced by Michael A Martian. Michael A Martian would later on produce She Works Hard for the Money by Donna Summer. He produced the album Camouflage by Rod Stewart in 1984, which featured Infatuation and Some Guys Have All the Luck, produced by Michael A Martian. Michael A Martian probably deserves a lot of credit for the success of this album. As a matter of fact, before they released a single off this first album by Christopher Cross, the record company said, let's release Say You'll Be Say You'll Be Mine. Let's put that as the first single off of the debut album by Christopher Cross. Michael and Martian stepped in and said, whoa, 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 whoa. No, 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 no. Ride Like the Wind. That's the hit. That's the strong record. And the record company went with it. Ride Like the Wind went to number 2 on Billboard's Hot 100. And then there was the scintillating Sailing. I'm not into slow records, but this record was transcendent. Sailing was transcendent. It literally floated across an ocean of AM and a growing number of FM bandwidths back in the summer of 1980. Went to number 1. And then it was Never Be the Same. Went to number 15, fall of 1980, and then Say You'll Be Mine, late 1980, early 1981. The first single that the record company wanted to put out was either the last or next to last single. Went to number 15 on Billboard's Hot 100. Author's Theme, remember that one? 1981, number 1 for Christopher Cross. And you probably remember Think of Laura from 1984, late 83, from the General Hospital TV show, daytime opera. And now we got All Right. produced by Michael A Martian. He played keyboards on that record, and guess who else played on this? There are a lot of talented people played on this record, but three of them, three guys from Toto, played on this record. And that's the thing about Toto, they keep coming up on this fancy playlist of 1983. They not only played, they had their own band, but they were doing gigs. They were sessionaires, prolific sessionaires. Jeff Porcaro of Toto played drums on this song. Mike Porcaro played bass. And Steve Lukather of Toto played electric guitar on this record by Christopher Cross. One of the top 40 pop adult contemporary mainstays of the early to mid 80s. Christopher Cross from Texas, coming in at number 4 with All Right. Fancy playlist of March 18th, 1983.